Oh, guys, I just did all the editing and all the commentary for this entire video, and then it all somehow got erased. I have no idea what happened, but so because of that, I have to redo this entire thing. But I'm willing to do it because I think this is a really good game, and I haven't posted a Wi-Fi battle in a while, so I'm doing it for you guys. But this game is a game of high and lows for me. I think I make some really good predictions, but I also make some pretty essential misplays as well. But regardless, this is an amazing overused battle I had against, I think his name was CRimZ, and it came right down to the wire, and those are the games I enjoy posting. So without further ado, let's get into it. So this game, I decided to lead with my Heatran because I noticed that he is a pretty decent lead against most of his team. And also he has, obviously, Stealth Rocks, which, well, not obviously, but he has Stealth Rocks, which means I could get that up. Especially because I noticed that a lot of his Pokemon have access to U-turn / Volt Switch. And obviously, if that's the case, then I'd like to have Stealth Rocks up because he's going to be doing a lot of switching. But he does lead to the Rotom Wash, so that's not good. I don't want to be dying this early. And I can't be over-predicting this early as well. So I do go into my Celebi to take either the Hydro Pump or Electric move. Which I do, but because he goes to Volt Switch, he's able to get a free switch into his Landorus, and I'm forced to switch unless I want to be taking a lot of damage from U-turn, which I might be more willing to do if I had Recover, but I don't, so I do switch. I go into my Haxorus, even though he's not the best Pokemon to take it U-turn, because I need a Pokemon that not only can take a U-turn, but can serve as a decent counter to his Rotom Wash as well, so he can't just go into that. But he actually does go into his Rotom Wash, and I think this is a misplay on his part. I think he forgot that I do have Mold Breaker, which means that his Levitate is negated, which means I can just go for an Earthquake. But unfortunately, he lives with probably a max of few HP, which kind of sucks. That means that he can use his Rotom Wash for fodder later, which he ends up doing, which kind of sucks. But you'll see that later. I do predict a switch here, so I go for Dual Trap instead. Unfortunately, it misses, which is kind of unfortunate as well. So kind of two obnoxious hacks-ish stuff happened the past two turns, but whatever. That's part of the game. So now he brings in his Landorus, and he shows Intimidate, which I didn't even know they got. Maybe that's a Dream World ability that I really have no idea. I didn't even know that Landorus had access to that, but to be fair, I don't really face him that much, and I actually don't even play with him that much, so whatever. I do go for a substitute on the switch because I actually predicted him to not want to stay in, and I do go for Dual Chop, which is, you know, a free hit, and it wouldn't have done that much, except I do get a crit on the second Dual Chop, which is really nice, which means that one of his both of his you know, U-turn Volt Switch combo, Landorus, Rotom Wash, they both hurt a lot, and I think that crit did kind of make up for those two plays earlier. But I do go into my Gengar, predicting I'm going to go for Earthquake again, wanting to take out my Haxorus, and predicting him to be Choice Scuffed. I know one of them probably is, and I'm thinking Landorus is. His Rotom Wash is probably more, maybe Expert Belted or something. So I get up a substitute, obviously, because I knew he was going to switch. He's not going to stay in when he's locked into Earthquake, and even if he was into Scarfed, he probably would want to switch. So I do get a free hit off on this Jirachi, but he takes that pretty well. I'm not modest, but I am timid max special attack. And so because he takes that so well, I'm thinking that he is more bulky. But I do go for substitute again the next turn, predicting him to go for Thunder Wave, because I know that he's probably going to predict me to either switch or go for another Shadow Ball. So I do get another free hit with Shadow Ball off. And it does, you know, about the same as last time. It's not doing that much, but I'm okay with any damage I can get. So, now he does take out my sub again, and I know this next turn he's probably not going to want to go for another Thunder Wave in case I go for another substitute. So I am going to take this opportunity to switch out into my Heatran, because I do see that the chance to get up my Stealth Rocks, and I know that even if he does Thunder Wave me, at worst it'll be just a little annoying. It's not going to hurt me that much. So, I am going to take this next turn to go for Stealth Rocks, because I know that he's going to, just based off all the U-turn Volt Switch I've seen, he's probably going to be switching a lot. So I do get up those Stealth Rocks as he brings in his Latias. So So with his Latias in here, I'm not really sure what he's going to do, but I know that he can't do much to me, even if he does have Surf, because I am a special wall. So I do just go for Roar, because I don't want him setting up Calm Mind or a Substitute, as he ended up doing, because I know that Latias is going to be a threat. So that's nice. And because I see him have Substitute, I know that this Heatran is going to be a pretty good counter for that Latias down the road. So I'll keep that in mind. But I do roll him out into his Jirachi, and he then takes the following turn to set up Rocks. And seeing Rocks, that really does kind of reinforce my previous idea that this Jirachi is a little bit more defensive. So I do get a free hit off with Lava Plume, which is always appreciated on you know, a bulky Pokemon like that. But he takes this next turn to utilize that Death Fodder that Rotom Wash presented earlier with surviving with such little HP. And now he gets a free switch into his Lucario. Now this isn't good at all, especially because I make a huge misplay here and stay in. Now, I definitely should have gone into either Staraptor or Gengar to take this, because I just lost my Heatran, which was a very good counter to both actually 3 Pokemon. Heatran, what am I saying? Really good counter to Jirachi, to Celebi, and to his Latias. And now I just lost that for literally no reason at all. And I mean, I really don't know what I was thinking there. But not only that, but I make another huge misplay. Talking about those highs and lows. I think I played really good before this series of plays right here, and now I just do awfully. I don't know why this is slowed down. That's kind of weird. Is it slowed down? I can't tell. But I bring in my Haxorus for some weird reason. I guess I was forgetting about Bullet Punch, but I remember thinking that this Lucario was going to be a huge threat, especially if he had like Bullet Punch and Swords Dance and Close Combat, you know, and just earlier. So I remembered that he had Bullet Punch, but it didn't process. So I do just go into my Gastron, which will be my best counter to his Lucario this entire game, and his Lucario is definitely going to be a threat because he's already taken out 2 of my Pokemon. So I do go for Skull, hoping to get a burn or whatever comes in, but it doesn't really matter. I don't against the Celebi, because obviously Celebi does have natural cure, so it would have been at best nice. So unfortunately, now that my Heatran's gone, I really don't have a really solid counter to his Celebi, except my own Celebi, and that's not a great counter. But I do see that he's leftovers, which lets me know he's probably more defensive, which means I'm definitely not going to hit 1-hit carrying him with Hidden Power Ice, which means that I might as well go for Nasty Plot, so that I won't be taking 2 Life Orb recoils, but only 1. So this next turn, I do go for Hidden Power Ice. He did go for Toxic the turn before, which really lets me know he's probably more of a wall. So I do go for it here, and that does a very respectable chunk, especially because, like I said, I think he's a wall. So he does go for Recover here, which obviously reveals that he's trying to Toxic Stall a little bit, but that's not going to work because I am doing more than he's recovering from his, recover. So I can just stay in here, go for another Hidden Power Ice, and he does decide to switch, and he goes into his Jirachi, I guess as Death Fodder, because this could easily have been Hidden Power Fire, but it is Hidden Power Ice, so it's not, I wasn't sure it was going to take him out, but it does because of a critical hit, which is my second crit of the game, which is kind of unfortunate for him. But I don't think it mattered because he was such low health, and it was +2. And I had Life Orbs, so I don't think it mattered, but who knows. But because of that, it is a double down because I died to my own Toxic and Life Orb recoil or whatever. So I bring in my Scarfer, which is Staraptor, and he brings in his Landorus. Now, unfortunately, Landorus is naturally faster, and I don't want to risk him being scuffed as well, which I think he is. So, especially because he stayed with Earthquake earlier in the game. So I go into my Gastrodon, and he does miss a Stone Edge here, which didn't matter because it is resisted, and this is a max HP, max defense Gastrodon. So it really didn't matter, I don't think. So now he does switch into his Celebi, and I know he's going to do that. And it's coming to the point of the game where I cannot afford to make mistakes, especially after losing my Heatran. So I do predict a switch into a Celebi and go to my Gengar. And obviously I can outspeed and take him out with a Shadow Ball. But this next turn, I make I don't know if it's really a misplay. I go for a Substitute here because I was thinking that he might switch. And seeing that he is bulky from earlier, that I was hoping that maybe he only had Giga Drain, or that his hidden power, Ice/Fire, or whatever he has, might not take out my sub. Unfortunately, it does, and because he does have leftovers, he now has a little bit greater of a chance of living the Shadow Ball. So I do go for the Shadow Ball here. It is stabbed super effective, and like I said, I do have special attack investment, but just like earlier with his Rotom Wash, he survives with just a sliver, and luckily, however, I do take a hidden power, whatever it is, because he is not offensive, so that's nice. It didn't really matter, I went for substitute there. So I do go for another Shadow Ball just to take him out. There's no point in me switching up moves because Shadow Ball was the best move to hit the rest of his team. So this next play that's coming up is the most crucial play of the game. So he brings in his Lucario, and this puts me into a tight spot. If I misplay here, if I make a misplay, if I don't predict right, Lucario has the potential to sweep my team. So either I could switch out into my Gaston, predicting the fairly obvious bullet punch, and then be in a pretty good position with my Gengar still alive, which I'm going to really need to be able to win this game. Or I could stay in, predicting him to predict my Gaston to switch in, and for him to go for either Swords Dance or Close Combat, and me staying in and taking him out with either Hidden Power Fighting or Focus Blast. I'm not sure which one I have on this Gengar. So those are my choices. And if I predict incorrectly, I've most likely lost this game, because either his Lucario can sweep if he sets up a Swords Dance and I switch into my Gastrodon, or I can lose my Gengar, who I need to win. So ultimately, I decided to switch on my Gastrodon, because I think that even if I do predict incorrectly, which I do end up doing, I think there might be a chance of me surviving +2 Life Orb, Stab, Close Combat from Lucario. I know, that's a lot of stuff added up, but I still was hoping I'd have a chance of surviving it, because like I said, I am max HP, max defense, and I am at full health. So let's just cross our fingers and see if I survive. And I don't. I do not survive. And I did calculate afterwards, and originally I thought I did have a chance of, when I first calculated, it said I did have a chance of living, but that's because I forgot to, incorporate the Life Orb, bonus, and with that, considering that, I didn't have a chance of winning. And because I did predict wrong, on that crucial play, he's able just to sweep the rest of my team with a Bullet Punch fairly easily. Well, actually, very easily. Unless he switched up moves, he had no chance of losing. So that is going to be a 3-0, but if I had predicted right there, if I had taken out that Lucario, who, fun fact, took out 5 of my Pokemon that game, I could have won. So I thought that was really interesting. It came down to one prediction, and it really was up in the air. He could have done either. Either would be understandable on his part, and either was understandable on my part. But I hope you guys enjoyed the game. I had a really fun time playing it. If you're watching this, CRimZ, great game as well. And I guess that's going to be it, guys. I hopefully will be posting another Wi-Fi battle soon. See ya.